pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great job.
Our next item is to approve our agenda. Have a motion?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the agenda.
Right now, do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, so the bill is passed. Our next item is for our election of officers. Do we have a motion?
I nominate Terry Nichols as president.
Second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. All right, so Mr. Nichols is our president for our board. And making here.
First item of, let me first thank Ms. Taylor for her service for this past year, serving as president of the board. She's done a tremendous job. I mean, that's some personal health issues that she's had to contend with, and she's been an excellent president. And let me explain one thing before we do anything else. The board decided a couple of years ago that we would move the gavel once a year, secretary position once a year, because there are 5 board members, we run in 5 different political districts in the county, and that gave every member of the board the opportunity to serve in an officer's position during their 6-year term, so to speak. So that's why the gavel is being passed, and it will be passed next year also. So that's just a PR statement for you. Next item of business is the nomination for secretary. We have a nomination, secretary.
I nominate Michelle. McKinley. Gee, I started to call you about something today that I know. Was that you, Michelle? I'm sorry.
Okay, we have a recommendation of Michelle Henry, and secretary for the board is next year.
I second it.
We have a motion, and a second. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Nay? Motion is carried. Michelle Henry is secretary. The next item of business on the agenda this evening is the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Nichols. I would also like to, just as you said, I would like to thank Ms. Sarah Doss Thomas for her leadership for this past year serving as board president. She's done a fantastic job in that role. I just want On behalf of our board members and our administrators here at the district levels, we want to thank you for your service. And at this time, we have Mr. Jerry White, our Director of Plant Maintenance, with us. He gave us an update at our recess board meeting in June on construction projects, and he will be giving us another update this afternoon.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. We're going to touch on all 12 projects today. We won't get in depth on the 4 construction projects like we did last week as far as going through each step of it. We'll just show a beginning picture of where we are today on those 4 projects. We'll start out with Hernando Middle School, where we had we retiled the library. We got a picture of it here with completion on it. This job is completed, and they did a really good job on it, in my opinion. They laid it well, and it looks really good. The next one will be South Haven High School, where we did the gym lobby floor replacement there. This job is also completed except for the wax on it. Until it hadn't been waxed, the floor had been laid. Next one is Shallows cafeteria floor replacement. This job is also complete. Really made a difference in the way this building looked here, and I think the principals want a little different color paint on the wall now, so we'll have a job there next summer, I guess. This one is Hope Sullivan. We're just going to show you in Hope Sullivan and also in the next one that's coming up, where we've just been tearing the old tile out and getting ready to lay the new tile. This was a pretty good size project here. In fact, it was 2 hallways and 19 classrooms here we're doing in this particular building. Next one is South Haven Middle School. South Haven Middle School, we're doing the 6th grade building upstairs there, and it's 11 classrooms. We're also doing the PE building and 6 counselor's offices. And it's the same there. We're just going to show you where we're tearing it out there and laying the tile that's not started. You can see the little bad spots in the floor here. What happens is after we tear the tile out, sometimes you break up some of the concrete, so you have to come back in and do what's called floating the floor. So they'll do that before the new tile is laid. Next one is Olive Branch Intermediate window replacement. This is phase 3. This is the 3rd summer that we've been at this school. That's the old windows, what they look like, and if the new ones ever do get here in full strength, that's what they're going to look like there. It's going to be quite a facelift for this school. It's going to look really good, but the main thing about it is it's going to save us a ton of energy there. These windows in that school are really old. They're really leaky, and so we're excited to get this done. Coach Poole's probably not going to be too excited because it's going to run into the weekends after school starts. The next one is Center Hill Elementary School. We've done a LED lighting retrofit. The cost on this project was, I think, like $145,000, and it's set to pay back in 3 years. So we're excited about this and to see if it does pay us back in 3 years. If it does, there's no more replacement of balance, no more replacement of bulbs. I'll save a ton of labor trying to keep up with the fluorescent lights that we have in there now. That's a picture of the cafeteria after they've just completed. And one of the classrooms. Next project is Fernando High School HVAC retrofit phase 2, which we wind up out there, this summer on that project. Right now, it entails, I think, 14 classrooms, library, office area, 2 locker rooms, and a gym lobby. We actually got the office area started up today. So they're done there. By Wednesday of next week, we'll have the first set of classrooms, which I think is 7, that will come online. And hopefully by Wednesday of next week, we'll have it all done except for the gym lobby and the 2 locker rooms. Now we'll ease into let me show you the picture on this. I'm doing this retrofit on this. It is a really messy, dirty job. I mean, it messes everything up, and after we get through with this, then we've got to have cleaning crews come in and really give these schools a good cleaning after this is done. And in the guy's defense, standing on the ladder, he is going to be able to get out of the ceiling. We stretched that picture so we could show you more, and it also stretched him. So he is a big guy, but he's not quite that big.
He looks like he doesn't have
And now we move into the construction project. This is Oak Grove Elementary 2 classroom addition. And this is the beginning picture of the site. And this is where we are today. And as you can tell, it's been raining. The next one is Fernando Elementary School 4 classroom addition. Of course, we would remove this trailer, one with the green top there, and put the building there. This is what it looks like today. Well, they're a little further along today than that. But they've got the decking on, and that's all the roofing material that is on the roof. It's ready to be put on, and hopefully they'll be through roofing by tomorrow. This is the one that's farthest behind, and it will go down to the 12th hour. This is Lewisburg Primary School. We're doing good there. Should be no problems from this site. This is the 4 picture. And this is where we are today. As you can tell, the HVAC units are on the roof. They have not been hooked up yet, but the electricity has been running in the building, and the sprinkler system has been put up, and there's been 1 coat of paint put on the inside. You can see the doors leading up against the side of the building there. They're getting ready to close all the holes up so they can turn the air on and get ready to get the concrete cured so that we can lay the tiles. This is Lewisburg Elementary School 4 classroom addition. This is the before. Where we are today, and same here, we've got the HVAC unit set. They've already got the doors on it. And we'll be ready to put some air on out there. Hopefully next week we'll start curing the concrete on the inside. They have got 1 coat of paint on the inside of this building also. You can see the tracks out there coming from the sidewalk going to the dumpster. It's muddy at that site also. That's the end of our presentation today. The trick for the next 4 weeks for us is going to be coordinating all the different trades that's in these schools. We've also got 4 paint crews working in our schools this summer. They're touching on 39 schools. So we've got them in there. We've got ABM in there, moving all the furniture out of the classrooms, waxing everything up. And we're trying to coordinate that with all these different trades that we've got in these other 12 schools. So that's what we're, really concentrating on for the next 4 weeks to make sure everybody stays out of everybody else's way long enough for everybody to get through. So that'll be our goal. So again, that's the end of our presentation for today. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you, Mr. White. Another great presentation. Appreciate you, Mr. Hall, all your hard work. And a lot of people don't realize that with our school board being the largest school district in the state, there's so many buildings and facilities, not only construction, but just maintaining and doing upgrades to those facilities. We appreciate all of this. Yes, sir. Thank you. We have 2 elected officials here in attendance with us. They have Mr. Michael Clinton, Alderman there, and City. And also we have Mr. Andrew Miller. Mr. Miller is here. He had contacted me. And yes, let's give him a round of applause. Mr. Miller, would you like to come forward and speak, or? Yeah, come on, if you'll come forward at this time. Mr. Miller had contacted me a couple weeks ago, and he was going to, I was going to ask him to speak in public comment, but since he is already here, we'll go ahead and have him speak at superintendent's report, because I know that he has got a lot going on.
Well, thank you, Superintendent, for allowing me to come, and thank the board. Just a brief recap, about 2 or 3 minutes, won't take me long. We came before you on May the 3rd of 2018, and we appeared before the board requesting approval to put the historical marker on the grounds at the elementary school, which I'm so thankful that the board did grant that approval. And this is probably one of the most fastest track marker that has been approved in the state. Like I said, I appeared for you on May the 3rd of 2018. I received approval from MDAH on July the 23rd of 2018. I then received a marker back from the manufacturer in January the 15th of 2019. And if anybody knows anything about it, it normally takes about a year and a half from start to finish. We're really fast track to get it done. And with that being said, we are on May the 25th of 2019. We unveiled it, and I'm thankful that again, the superintendent, when we gave them the date and stuff, we adjusted some time to because of graduation. So we thank all the school board members that was able to attend and all the other officials. But we really want to thank you for what you've done and support for doing that. We want to also give a special thank to the principal there, Mrs. Stacy Pearl, and her staff for all the adjustments that they made for us and allowing former classmates and students to tour the building, and they were excited. So again, we just come before you, the board, to just tell you thanks for your assistance, and we have received nothing but positive feedback from what was done on that spot of ground. And the most important thing that a lot of DeSoto County know a little bit more about our history and our school system that they didn't know before. So there again, we want to say thank you, for your direction, thank you for your approval, and also your support, and the superintendent and his staff for all that they did to make this possible. And then if anything else that we can do to assist the school board, because we are supportive of what you do here. And as superintendent said, we talked with some people just last week from the Jackson area. And they talk about how we had succeeded them in the normal student. I said, well, we still got the best thing going in the state. So, well, thank you for the job that you do, and to continue to do the job that you do. Thank you, Superintendent, for allowing me to be through.
We appreciate you, Mr. Alderman. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Miller. Thank you. All right. That concludes my superintendent's report.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have a litigation matter and a personnel matter that we should take up in executive session.
Next item of business is the approval of minutes from the June 11th special call meeting and June 20th regular full meeting. I don't think that requires a recommendation, so we have a motion to approve the meeting, those two minutes.
I make that motion.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The approval of the minutes is approved. not your recommendation?
Mr. President, I recommend the board to approve the consent agenda.
Okay. Motion has been made to approve the consent agenda. Do we have a motion to that effect?
I make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the consent agenda under item D. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. The motion is approved. Approve the consent agenda items A through D. New business, first item of business, architectural, new business is architectural services, Allen and Ocean Playground Edition. Mr. Spencer, looks like you're in charge of all those.
Yes, sir. Mr. Williams asked me to stand in for him today. The Physical Plant Department is requesting permission to hire Allen Hoschel as the architect for the ADA playground expansion in Horn Lake Intermediate School. This is phase 2 of that project.
Any questions, comments of Mr. Spencer? Not your recommendation, Mr. Superintendent.
Mr. President, I recommend the board to approve the use of architectural services of Allen Hoschel for the playground addition at Horn Lake Intermediate School.
Motion on that recommendation, do we have a motion to that effect?
I make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Nay? Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Item B, Mr. Spencer, is to advertise for bids, playground addition for Lake Intermediate School.
Yes, sir. The district is requesting permission to advertise for bids for the playground expansion at Horn Lake Intermediate School.
Your recommendation.
Mr. President, I recommend the board to approve permission to advertise for bids for the playground addition at Horn Lake Intermediate School.
Okay. Recommendation, for approval, do we have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Item number C is architectural services at Allen and Oshel, drainage improvements, South Haven Elementary School.
Yes, sir. Our district is requesting permission to hire Allen Hoschel as the architect for the drainage improvements that are needed at South Haven Elementary.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Spencer. Your recommendation.
Mr. President, I recommend the board to approve the use of architectural services of Allen Hoschel for drainage improvements at South Haven Elementary School.
Okay. Do we have a motion to that effect?
I make that motion.
Do we have a second? Motion having been made and seconded, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion is carried. Item D is permission to advertise for bids, drainage improvements, South Haven Elementary School. Mr. Spencer.
Yes, sir. The district is requesting permission to advertise for bids for the drainage improvements at South Haven Elementary.
Your recommendation, Mr. Superintendent.
Mr. President, I recommend the board to approve the advertising for bids for the drainage improvements at South Haven Elementary School.
Based on the superintendent's recommendation, do we have a motion to that effect?
No.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Nay. Motion is carried. Next item of business is the request to purchase vehicles of physical plant department. Mr. Spencer.
Yes, sir. The Physical Plant Department is requesting permission to purchase 3 2019 Dodge Caravans from Cannon Motors. These vehicles are on state contract and they'll be added to our existing fleet.
Your recommendation, Mr. Superintendent.
Mr. President, I recommend that the board to approve the purchase of vehicles for the physical plant department.
Based upon the superintendent's recommendation for approval, do we have a motion to that effect?
I so moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion having been made and seconded, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, motion is approved. Okay, F, lease authorizing resolution. Ms. Patty.
Yes, sir.
Oh, there you go.
I'm standing in for Ms. Graves, of course. As we are entering into the next phase of the issuing of the certificates of participation, we have Mr. Jim Young here, our bond attorney, along with Greg McMurray, our placement agents. And we've asked Mr. Young to give a brief summary, and you can ask any questions at this time.
Mr. John?
I know you want me to make this brief. To finance some projects over the next 2 years, you're entering into a lease purchase arrangement. The lease purchase, the placement of that was done by Cruz and Associates, Mr. McMurray and his group. They worked out an arrangement with Regions Bank to loan the money for 2.63% as an initial rate. We may have to break this up into two series depending on the purchase of some property. We may wind up doing about half of it now and half of it in a couple of months. But it will all be in the form of a lease-back arrangement, similar to what you did in 2016, and you've done several of those in earlier years as well. The resolution tonight authorizes the superintendent to sign the commitment letter subject to satisfactory preparation of documents, validation of the lease, other prerequisites like that. Authorizes the board officers to sign the documents at the appropriate time. And right now, we anticipate the lease will close and be funded on August 1.
Any board member have any questions? We thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We're excited about the project.
Happy 4th for everyone.
All right.
Happy 4th to you,
Happy
too.
4th to everybody. Thank y'all.
Thank you also.
Thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you, both.
Based on that information and the superintendent's recommendation.
Mr. Austin needs to make a
Oh.
recommendation.
I thought you.
That's all right.
Okay,
Mr. President, I recommend the board to approve the lease authorizing the resolution.
thank you, appreciate that.
You're welcome, sir.
Don't forget.
All right, based upon the superintendent's recommendation to approve the lease authorizing resolution, discussed this evening, do we have a motion to that effect?
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion having been made and seconded, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, lease authorizing resolution is approved. Okay, next item of business is certification of bank reconciliation. Ms. Hattie.
All bank statements have been reconciled with no exceptions. Good. We like that.
We'd like to hear that. Your recommendation, Mr. Superintendent.
Mr. President, I recommend the board to approve the certification of bank reconciliations for May 2019.
Based upon the superintendent's recommendation for approval of certification of bank reconciliations, do we have a motion to that effect?
I make that motion.
Do we have a second?
I second.
Motion having been made and seconded, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Ayes have it. The next item of business is new board policy
Yes, sir. I'm asking the board to please approve the new board policy GCF. This is the second read for this policy and no comments were received for Mrs. Weeks.
Any questions from the board? The recommendation is
Mr. President, I recommend the board to approve the new board policy JGCF, comprehensive eye examination.
okay. Based upon the superintendent's recommendation for approval, do we have a motion to allow effect?
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion hasn't been made and seconded. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The motion to the board policy is approved. Next item is new board policy RD, detention facility records. Mr. Spencer.
Yes, sir. I'm asking the board to please approve new board policy JRD, detention facility records. Once again, this is the second read for this policy, new policy, and the district did not receive any comments per Mrs. Weeks.
Any questions or comments? Not, Mr. Superintendent, you have a recommendation.
Mr. President, I recommend the board to approve the new board policy JRD for the detention facility records.
Based on the superintendent's recommendation, do we have a motion to that effect?
Make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion having been made and seconded, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. New board policy JRD is approved. Personnel, Mr. Alexander.
Yes, sir, your personnel packet this afternoon is pages 1 through 6 recommendations. Pages 7 and 8 are personnel changes. Page 9 is a memo for myself, Mr. Thweet, who is a new hire at South Haven High School, and hired to teach math. That's critically important for us, and requesting he be paid salary based on the license pay scale for all verifiable years of experience he can produce. Page 10, memo from Mr. Jenkins, our athletic director. He's requesting the Board of Education approve the two names who will be volunteer paraprofessionals and will assist with coaching for the 2019-2020 school year. Page 11 is a memo from Ms. Green, Director of MIS, recommending Ms. Malone to train with current emphasis coordinator, Washington Shadows Elementary, of the Monday, July the 9th. Ms. Malone will work 18 days at $16.78 per hour, and she will assume the emphasis coordinator position on August the 2nd. Page 12, request for additional pay for Ms. Goss, Director of Special Education, on 30 additional hours of med chairs to complete sped paperwork for any location that has code med chairs. The 30 hours will be split. This began on 7/3, beginning on 7/3/19 and ending on 6/30/20 at a rate of $27 per hour. Page 13 is a list of those med chairs. Page 14 is a request from Ms. Goss and Mr. Snell, who will replace Ms. Little. Mr. Snell will complete psychological evaluation during the summer of 2019. 30 hours being allocated to Mr. Snell above the 60 hours that have already been board approved. These hours they're needed to complete the psychological evaluations not completed by the contractor. The 90 hours will be total now, and that began on 6/7, will end on July 31st. Will be paid as daily rate of pay. Page 15 through 16, the 2019-2020 district office non-paid scale salaries.
Thank you, Mr. Alexander. Any questions, comments from the board about Mr. Alexander or the person? Not, we have the recommendation.
Mr. President, I recommend the board to approve personnel as presented.
Okay, based on the superintendent's recommendation for approval, do we have a motion to that effect?
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, motion personnel is approved as presented. Residency appeal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's item to be discussed in executive session.
Okay. Since this is the first meeting of the month, if there's any public comment is to be heard about the board, we cannot discuss any student matters, personnel matters in open session, and all we move to executive session. But is there anyone here that would like to address the board on any other comments or any other matter? Not, we appreciate you, being here. And I need a motion and for consideration of closed session.
Chair, make sure you request it here.
Yes.
See if you're here.
Oh, there were two requests to appear. Mr. Browder here, Ms. Browder here.
She is.
Oh, okay. You have requested to appear. Is it, student discipline matter, student matter? All right, that will be moved to executive session. Mr. Childs, say that?
Ms. Childs.
Ms. Childs?
Yes,
Is it a student matter?
yes,
Okay, that will be heard in executive session. Okay. Excuse me, if I overlook it, y'all. Need a motion for consideration of closed session to determine whether the board should enter executive session for the following matters: litigation matter, residency appeal matter, a request to appeal.
and
And
personnel.
personnel matters. Okay. That's all right, need a vote.
All in favor?
Aye. Opposed? I don't have to mark it. Okay. Mr. Chase will come back at the point where the board will